To share insights on the bicameral conference, we have Ken Abante, co-convener of the People's Budget Coalition, joining us on Morning Matters. Welcome back to the show.
Morning, Gretch, and thank you for having us again.
Okay, una-una, the BICAM is now open to the public. It is a win, as you've noted, as many budget groups have noted. But where did you observe the budget BICAM from? Is it from home, or were you given seats at the PICC?
So, Gretch, the Bicameral Conference Committee was live streamed, and many budget watchdogs were watching until around 12:30 a.m. On YouTube. So that's where we observed the BICAM from.
Kasi may request din kayo kasi na mag-participate dun sa process. So mukhang live streaming lang this time. Okay. Kagabi, no, medyo naantala itong BICAM. Matagal actually, nakatuon din ako, tapos biglang nawala, nag-break sila. Let's talk first about that, no? What happened yesterday with Secretary Vince Dizon being present at the BICAM. This is a unique step, bringing an executive official in. What did you note? And he was requesting to restore 45 billion in the DPWH budget. Ano yung napag-usapan niyo dito?
Siguro yung kahapon medyo nababahala kami, no, kasi yung Bicameral Conference Committee live streaming ay matagal na antala. Nasabi mo nga, I think dapat originally yung schedule 2 p.m. nag-start siya, I think near 5 p.m. na. And then tinatry naming i-check kung ano yung nangyari before, at sinasabi nila meron daw pagpupulong yung or caucus na tinatawag yung House tsaka yung Senate. At yun nga po ay ninote din namin na si Secretary Vince Dizon ay nandoon, no? And in the first hour, 1.5 hours of this Bicameral Conference Committee, yung naririnig natin, Gretch, ay nagtatalo yung House and Senate about around 45 billion pesos to 54 billion pesos ng mga Department of Public Works and Highways budget, no? Yung main contention during this time was how to use the construction materials price database in lowering the budget of the DPWH. So yun yung tinatanong ng mga kongresista at mga senador kay Secretary Vince Dizon. Pero yung major na nakita namin dito, nag-worry kami, no? Kasi ito ba ay nagkaroon ulit ng small committee? Nagkaroon ba ulit ng secret na pagpupulong? At ano ba yung mga na-decide doon sa discussions? No, malalaman pa natin yan kasi hindi pa finalized yung DPWH budget. Magre-resume sila mamayang 4:00.
But was it clear to you why the DPWH Secretary was asking for the restoration of the DPWH budget? Kasi yung numbers, sabi ng mga senador, galing naman daw sa kanila, doon sa incumbent. Ano kaya yung pinaka naging problema dito? Kaya sinusugurong ibalik yung budget na yon.
Oo, Gretch. So, yung nangyayari kasi, yung main na diniscuss nila kahapon, may sinasabi ni Sec Vince na around 45 billion pesos na na pagbaba doon sa budget ng Department of Public Works and Highways na kinat ng Senado, no? Ang sinasabi ng Senado, they were trying to clean up the projects kasi nasabi na doon sa mga flood control investigations na may overpricing doon sa mga specific projects. So yung ginawa ng Senado, coming from the construction materials price data regional averages ng mga presyo ng mga asfalto, ng semento, etc. In-apply yun ng Senado doon sa bawat isang set ng line items ng mga proyekto, no? The people in the House and also Secretary Vince in his request, sinasabi niya na if you apply it that way, posibleng may mga projects daw na unimplementable. So matagal na nagkaroon ng deadlock dyan yung House and Senate, no? Kasi yun nga, tama actually yung Senado in terms of, checking the costs of these specific projects, in terms of their overpricing. I-approve ba nila yung isang overpriced na item? Yung pag-explain naman ni Secretary Vince kahapon, may mga items doon na kailangang sumunod doon sa mas tamang proseso or sa sa regular process ng kung paano ginagawa yung pagbaba ng presyo. Kasi magsa-start siya sa construction materials price database. So ibababa yung presyo ng ibang mga raw materials para mas align siya sa merkado. Yung second step ay magkaroon ng program of works na tinatawag, Gretch, sa bawat isang project. And finally, dun lang per line item ng project level yung dapat pagbaba ng mga budget. So, yun yung parang major na pagtatalo. Yung hinihingi namin actually sa civil society ay yung listahan nung lahat ng projects na apektado nitong 45 billion peso na decrease na sinasabi nila na implementable or unimplementable. Yun yung hindi pa nasasagot doon sa Bicameral Conference Committee at kailangan ng transparency dito sa specific projects na ito.
Wait lang, so kumbaga parang in-apply yung pagbaba ng presyo ng construction materials sa unang listahan pa lang at hindi kasama dun sa program of works. Hindi ba parang pagdating sa program of works, I mean, it's still the same materials that go through that program of works, right? And pag kunwari may isa kang proyekto, pag presyo lang naman ang ibababa mo, hindi naman magbabago yung quantity. So, what's the struggle there?
So yung main na sinasabi ay dapat may program of works muna para may assumptions ng kung, 'di ba? Kung gaano karaming asfalto, gaano karaming ano. So apparently in the cost assumptions of each project, hindi pa yun available. Na yun actually yung dapat na reforma. Yung dapat na reforma ay dapat transparent yung cost assumption sa bawat isang proyekto. That is something that I don't think the DPWH and Congress can still produce, no? And in fact, we raised this concern to Senator Gatchalian during the time that he consulted the CSOs in these hearings. At yung main na sinasabi namin, it feels like guesswork at this point, no? Yung pag-check natin kung tama ba yung cost per kilometer. Kasi nga iba-iba yung condition sa bawat isang project. So yung panawagan ng civil society ay sa budget preparation pa lang sa 2027 budget. At actually, kahit ngayon sa 2026 budget ay sana gawing publiko, isa publiko yung mga cost assumptions na to per project. No? Mukhang hindi ko alam kung kaya siya within the timeline. And we can share some findings we actually have, Gretch, on some of these projects.
Pero sabi nga ni Secretary Vince, medyo hindi kakayanin dahil 10,000 projects yung apektado dito. Does this mean that it might be not feasible to apply these reductions to the 2026 budget? And ano kaya yung parang pinaka practical application of the reductions?
Oo.
Of yung the overpriced materials. Oo.
Yung nag-iisa major debate pa dito, Gretch, kasi I think both the House and Secretary Vince, sinasabi nila, i-restore mo na yung 45 billion or 54 billion kung ano man yung amount dito sa DPWH budget based on the pricing and let the executive do its job to raise the savings, no? So kung naging mataas man yung project, halimbawa 150 million peso multipurpose building, pero may mga tanong kami tungkol dyan. 150 million peso multipurpose building, tapos gagawa nila yung program of works, yung multipurpose building na yun, gagawa sila ng tinatawag na approved budget for the contract. Doon na lang nila bababaan yung item, no, kapag naaral na nila yung actual cost talaga. So may makuha silang savings because the approved budget for the contract that they approved was below the 150 billion multipurpose building budget per line item. And then the other point of contention was, what will you do with all these savings? Babalik ba yan sa distrito? Sino ba yung mag-a-approve? Yung sinasabi ni Secretary Vince dito, Gretch, it will be the president who will decide, no? But even then, we need to really, really scrutinize what happens here. I think by the end of the term, I heard a number na sinabi ni Sec Vince, around 60 billion pesos daw na savings from these potential raw materials change, no? Pero I hear also the main issues of the Senate when they were really raising red flags. They were they were alarmed that nagbago ng statement si
Secretary
kumbaga
Vince,
parang
yes.
parang hindi naman parang they were nag-back and forth sila about that point. Pero parang yung sabi nga kung alam na natin na may overpriced, dapat may approve ng Kongreso na may overpriced. No? Tapos the main contention is how to apply that factor. Regional average ba or per project line item ba? And eventually, who should hold the power?
Yes.
Should it be the Congress or the President? No? At ang para sa atin bilang taong bayan, no, dapat accountable pareho. No, kapag the proper budget defense would have been 'di ba, hindi na dito sa BICAM dinidiscuss yan. Dapat na-discuss na yan nung House or yung Senate hearings.
Parang hinahabol na lamang ito.
Parang hinahabol, no? So nababahala talaga kami kasi ano ba talaga yung final list of project? Is it the House version, no? May marirecover ba ng mga projects diyan na trinay i-clean up ng Senado? So in fairness to na sina Senator Win, no? At yung Senate delegation, they tried to do a clean up of these projects, and by clean up I meant trinay nilang lagyan, Gretch, ng mga station numbers, specific locations, para hindi magkaroon ng risk of repeat, no, yung mga projects na to. And they tried to do the cost per kilometer changes na pababain siya given the detail that was given
But
to
what
the
would be your
DPWH.
proposal given the tight timelines? Siguro dito pumasok din yung usapin ng tiwala, ano? Na may tiwala yung mga senador kay Secretary Vince pero wala silang tiwala sa mga engineer niya within the department. Given the realities surrounding the DPWH, what would be your proposal?
Yung una, i-release muna yung listahan ng 45 to 54 billion kasi actually yung nakikita pa nga namin, no, even with the steps of the Senate to help improve that list and be more specific about the locations, may mga na-flag pa kami, Gretch, na mga items, no. So hindi lang 10,000, actually 17,000 yung projects na in-analyze namin coming from the list, no, 17,000 projects. We identify around 8,499 risks or red flags, amounting to around 144 billion pesos. That includes projects that are potentially risky, at risk of repeat, high cost per kilometer. May mga projects na parang very round yung figures. Halimbawa, maraming multi-purpose buildings na 150 million pesos, 50 million pesos.
So it's still there.
Farm-to-market roads
Hindi pa
15
tinatanggal itong mga to.
pesos. Hindi pa tinatanggal, pero yung ginawa may tinanggal na iba. May mga ginawang mas specific yung location kasi yun yung pinush ng civil society. Pwede bang i-check natin kung yung farm-to-market road na ito ay konektado talaga sa national road? At hindi konektado doon lang sa property ng isang politiko. 'Di ba kasi yun yung isa sa mga main issues, no? Or i-check kung talagang at risk of repeat ito na project in the previous years. Yun yung modus ng half ghost project, 'di ba? Pinondohan na in the previous years, tapos popondohan naman or babakbakin yung isang kalsada tapos lalagyan ulit ng asfalto, no? Hindi yun maayos. So, yung chinek namin, in fairness sa Senate, no, nababa na yung risk na ito by more than 100 billion pesos. Pero may nakikita pa rin tayong around 144 billion. But really kudos to the Senate, no, for really trying to listen to civil society's inputs here, no. Pero ang karapatan ng mamamayan ay malaman kung ito bang mga proyekto na to ay para talaga sa development ng ating bayan.
Okay. Apart from the DPWH budget that was discussed yesterday, what other red flags did you see in day one of the bicameral conference?
So, yung other red flags na nakita namin, Gretch, ay may mga pork projects kasi kami or programs at risk of patronage na-identify and we were watching 10 things in the budget. Yung isa sa mga nakita namin, Gretch, ay yung continuous increase ng tinatawag na MAIFIP, no, or yung Department of Health Medical Assistance to Indigent and Financially Incapacitated Patients. In-increase siya from 24 billion in the NEP to 51 billion pesos in the BICAM, no? So mas it hewed more closely to the House version of the budget than the Senate version of the budget. And matagal na naming sinasabi to, the system of guarantee letters under which the MAIFIP is based, it will worsen patronage, no? Kasi health is supposed to be a right, dapat karapatan ng mamamayan na makuha yung health services, at hindi kailangan dapat pumila sa politiko at magmakaawa. So yun yung isang nakita namin, MAIFIP. No? Yung second flag na nakita namin sa education, meron din kasing pork sa education, Gretch, unfortunately, that is called the CHED Tulong Dunong. No, yung nakita namin dun sa version ng House, parang yung tulong-dulong may around 2 billion to 3 billion pesos na amount. Ito yung parang mga scholarship program, no? And yung narinig namin sa field, may control dito yung mga kongresista, parang guarantee letter system ulit. And we were pushing sana that this amount be put in the tertiary education subsidy para tunay na free college talaga, at universal free college yung implementation, no? At again, hindi mo kailangan pumila sa kongresista. So yung naging agreement dito ng House and Senate ay i-centralize sa CHED, no, para magkaroon ng clear rules. Kasi yung last time that they were discussing it, may ibang state universities and colleges, may tulong-dunong, may iba wala. No? So nagtalo rin dito yung ibang mga kongresista. And kailangan i-double check ng CHED. They were calling Chair Agrupis in the bicameral conference committee. So dun sa CHED at dun sa education meron din. And finally sa agriculture, no, meron ding pork around 10 billion pesos. So yung presidential assistance to farmers and fisher folk na 10 billion. I think sa Senate version, they removed this. We flag this as at very high risk of pork again, and we need to ensure that this is not used for politicking. No, so in agriculture also, they increased the farm to market roads projects from 16 billion to 33 billion pesos. Dito sa BICAM, nagkaroon ng 2-hour debate on safeguards dito, Gretch. And yung major agreement nila, they keep the 33 billion pesos. Medyo nag-increase pa nga, no, for coming from the Senate. And kailangan ma-align ito sa farm to market road network plan, no, at ma-ensure na connected talaga ito sa mga highways.
Okay, you flagged the different pork projects across different agencies, and we could go on and on actually. But yung PCIJ is flagging this, no, the DPWH still having around 2/3 of its budget laden with pork. They still cite the alcohols and non-alcohols. But on a final question, how much time does Congress really have? Hindi ba kailangan maipasa lahat ng ito bago matapos yung taon? Bago siya maging reenacted budget, how tight are timelines, and what do you think is feasible at this point?
Tama, no, that the timeline is very tight, Gretch, kasi they plan to approve it on December 22nd. And dapat matapos yung approval by December 31st. I think everyone agrees that the worst case scenario is there will be a reenacted budget by 2026. Kasi it will mean that the 2025 budget will apply to 2026, and we don't want that to happen. I think yung major na kailangang gawin ngayon is to really look at the observations coming from the civil society studies. Kasi yun nga, education may malaking concerns, pero in-increase naman yung budget. Yung health, kailangan sumunod sila sa Supreme Court ruling na sinasabing dapat ibalik ng DOF yung 60 billion pesos. Pero kahit ngayon, kulang pa yung earmark para sa PhilHealth. No? Even with that 60 billion peso increase from the House to the Senate version, and I think the BICAM is going to adopt it. Pero hindi ko pa alam kung kumusta yung kulang dito. And finally, in agriculture and in public works, there really needs to be, Gretch, a system of monitoring each project, no? Para yung discussion hindi siya parang doon sa sobrang taas na level, no? Dapat makita kung sino yung pinaka nag-benefit from insertions from the NEP to Congress, and yung lahat naman na projects na natag ng civil society na risky, may isa pang recourse even if it's passed in this congressional version. in the BICAM is to flag them all for later release, no? So that the agency has time to explain it. So the
okay.
legislature has the power to a power of the purse, while the executive has the power to implement these projects. So part of the power to implement is asking the agency to explain a little bit more the cost assumptions behind these projects. So if Congress still passes many of these red flag projects, we turn to the president and engage in that process to ensure na yung mamomonitor ng mga projects talagang bumaba yung mga raw materials dyan at i-ensure na tama talaga yung location ng mga projects na ito.
Well, it's clear that the only limited resource here is time, and time is what we need to cleanse the budget. We do hope, maganda yung insights ninyo, we do hope that a study comes out, a paper on loopholes in the budget. Nakikita na natin ngayon, unti-unti, nag-unfold na, pero medyo matatagalan nga. Ang proposal ko lang, gumawa kayo ng, ng libro, How to Get Away with Corruption for Dummies. Diba? Pwede yun.
Nako. Oo. Pero Gretch, actually, meron na kaming studies, no? Iniimbitahan ko po yung publiko na ibisitahin ang 2026-budget.bettergov.ph. All the tables, the line items from the time in the last year's last year's budget to every step of the process this year, no? From the House to the Senate to the BICAM, ay may kita nyo po dito sa 2026-budget.bettergov.ph. Even our analysis, Gretch, on the red flags na minention ko kanina, ay nandun din.
Nakalatag.
Nandun
Okay.
din. So, hopefully, citizens are better informed and we are empowered to really engage the budget process dahil bawat mamamayan po may karapatan na makialam sa budget natin na ginamit yung buwis natin na pinaghirapan natin.
Well, I am, and we are better informed here at Morning Matters. Maraming salamat for joining us today to explain and dissect the details of the budget and the bicameral conference. We have Ken Abante, co-convener of the People's Budget Coalition. Keep up the great job, and we'll watch out for your work.
Maraming salamat, Gretchen.